Hello and welcome to Inside the Actor Studio. Hello and welcome back to Inside the Actor Studio. I am James Lipton. Today we will acknowledge, interview, and appreciate one of the most profound actors of our time. He has won an Oscar for his recent role, among many other accomplishments. He is Gregory Peck. Always a pleasure, Mr. Peck. Now, at what time in your life did you consider acting as a profession, and why?
Well, I had a very interesting childhood. You see, my parents divorced when I was just 6 years old, and then my grandmother raised me until I was 13, and then she died, and my father took over again. It was under his upbringing that I went to the San Diego State Teachers College, and it was there when I first was introduced to acting. I then went to UC Berkeley after 1 year at San Diego and pursued my newfound passion.
Gregory, what role have you played that you feel is the closest depiction of your actual character, and why?
Well, I'd have to say the character I most enjoyed playing would have to be Atticus Finch from To Kill a Mockingbird. I felt a certain connection to him. We shared the same beliefs, the same values, the same ties with our family. He was a man that I felt I could be, that I felt I could aspire to be. But I also found him within myself. He was a lot of fun.
Peck, Gregory, did you ever think, while playing the role of Atticus Finch, that it would have such a grand impact on film history, and to an even lesser extent, American history?
Well, when they first called me up to audition for To Kill a Mockingbird, I had no idea just how successful it would be, or how it would carve a place for itself in the history of film and the history of the world. Especially filming that movie in the middle of the 60s. There was a lot of controversy stirring around it. Lots of disputes between whites and blacks, and it was almost more fiery than the time when Harper Lee wrote it in the 1930s.
Greg, what are the defining characteristics or themes of Atticus Finch, in your opinion, as an actor?
Well, when playing Atticus, there were two things I found vital to his character. He always believed in giving everyone a chance, no matter what their history was, what their character was. He thought there was inherent goodness in all people. Secondly, he always made sure, well, almost always, made sure to put his family first. He wanted to make sure they respected him as a man, and a father, and a lawyer. But no matter how much he believed in people, no matter how much he gave them a chance, it always seemed like he knew when to trust people and when to be cautious. He was a very smart man.
Peck, what do you think was Harper Lee's main message that she tried to convey through her novel?
You know, I believe Lee tried to convey many messages in her novel, but there was definitely one that was the most prominent, and that would have to be the very title of the book, To Kill a Mockingbird. It means that it's immoral, it's a sin to kill something that is innocent, that just sings, you know. It's only there to sing and create music. It's innocent, hasn't hurt anyone. And in the book, the Mockingbird is Tom Robinson. Tom Robinson, in the book, was just trying to be a friend to Mayella Ewell. But because of her relationship with her father, that has, damaged her, she tried to accuse him of raping her. Now, Tom, to be fair, his involvement with a white woman back then was a bit naive. But he was still an innocent man, and because of the time and place where he was convicted and later killed trying to escape. But Tom Robinson is killed in the novel. Lee makes it very clear there's going to be some sort of retribution for his death, because, again, it's immoral to kill a mockingbird. there's some sort of bad karma that follows Tom Robinson's death, such as Bob Ewell attacking Atticus's children.
What idea fueled Lee to write that Tom Robinson was killed, in your opinion?
I think the main reason why Harper Lee chose to have Tom die in her book was because had he lived, the book would have been too light. It would have been so easily solved. The whole case of Tom Robinson against a white woman and her white father, if that had been resolved peacefully, not a single message would have been given from the book. However, having him die properly conveys the harsh reality of the South. Tom dead at the end of the book, it leaves the reader with that sense of despair, that sense of almost being robbed of a good verdict in the trial, because Tom Robinson had been proven guilty, but he had no faith in the white people who were taking care of justice, just like many black people in the South during the 1930s probably didn't have. So because of that, he fled, and he died when he shouldn't have.
Senor Peck, there is an instance in the novel in which Atticus believes his son Jem to be guilty of murdering Bob Ewell. He contemplates taking Jem to trial. Do you believe that this makes Atticus a better or worse parent?
Atticus is a good man, there's no doubt about that, and he's an excellent lawyer, there's no doubt about that either. But some of his decisions in the novel bring his parenting into question. The simple decision to protect a black man in court puts his family in danger from any bigots who might be his neighbors or who might know his name, might know where he lives. His children need to be protected now because of the thing he has taken on, the job he's taken upon himself to protect Tom Robinson. The second instance where his parenting could be brought into question is when, after Bob Ewell is killed by Boo Radley, he comes out and he sees Jim and Scout, and he thinks that Jim has, in fact, murdered Bob Ewell. Because of this, he strongly considers taking Jim to court, putting him in even more danger, even more of a stressful situation. Just examples where he shows his prowess and his knowledge as a lawyer, but also his shortcomings as a protective father.
And, Gregory, what would you have done in Atticus's situation as a parent?
In Atticus's position, being a father of 3 myself, I would have definitely taken Mr. Tate Steele. There's no doubt in my mind. I would have most definitely preferred to have that story about Bob Ewell falling on his knife to come out instead of some story about my son stabbing him. It would put my son in a very terrible position for a young man. He would have to go to court. He'd have to defend himself. He would have people thinking he might have been guilty of murder. I personally couldn't have done that, but I have to say I do still respect Atticus's decision. I had an interesting childhood. My parents divorced when I was 6 years of age, and then I was raised by my maternal grandmother. And then my father did something. Under his upbringing, I went to San Diego State Teachers College for 1 academic year. And then I transferred to my dream college, UC Berkeley, where I pursued my newfound passion of acting. Where am I? No. Robinson just wanted to help Mayella Ewell. Tom Robinson is killed. Lee makes it very clear in the book that there's going to be some sort of retribution